That same level of optimism brings me to believe that shortly we'll reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, and that reauthorization is literally inevitable because we as members of Congress want to move the economy forward and create opportunities for business and those people who make their livelihood from those businesses back home. Export-Import reauthorization does exactly that. And the district I represent, the 3rd District of Oklahoma, is ag and energy. Yes, we're oil and gas, and we're wheat and cattle and cotton and a whole variety of things. The one common thread in my district economically is we produce more energy and ag products than we can possibly consume. And we have to have the ability to move our products into the world markets if we're going to have a price. Now, I am a strong supporter of the Export-Import Bank simply for the very reason. As an Aggie, I have to sell into the world markets. Manufacturing in this country has to have the ability to sell into world markets, or they won't have a price either, and the folks who work for them won't have a job either. So to the panel, I ask the following question. And note that I understand in these hearings we tend to discuss things several times in a row, but part of educating my colleagues, myself, and the process we work through is repetition, consistency, focus, burning it in, so to speak. So I asked the group, how vital is a healthy Export-Import Bank for global competitiveness for our exporters here in the United States? And again, reinforce if you would, and if you disagree, I'm going to be horrified, particularly why a long-term reauthorization is so important compared to this knee-jerk year 2 or 3 stuff we've been going through recently. The floor is yours, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me just start. The reauthorization of the Ex-Im Bank is vital to thousands of small businesses and tens of thousands of suppliers to large businesses every year, hundreds of thousands of workers across the country. And if we don't do it for a long period of time, a certain period of time, we are going to risk our jobs, we are going to leave our manufacturers and our farmers and our energy producers outside while other countries fill the void.
Absolutely.
One more thing I would like to add. When we do our strategic planning, we do it for a longer period of time. So when we're developing something and trying to export it overseas, there's a time period to it. And when you start seeing the results, by the time you start seeing the results of that, at that time, if there's uncertainty, then whatever you have invested into that business is kind of lost. So it is important to have a long-term plan and a long-term secure approach to authorizing the Ex-Im Bank.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Mr. Henson, you testified and explained that Export-Import works at no cost to the American taxpayer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I should just leave my colleagues with this thought, which is in this session of Congress, we're working with what our media friends like to refer to as divided Congress, Democrat House, Republican Senate. And that, of course, makes it more difficult to force things through. I would argue, again, as that eternal optimistic farmer whose glass is always half full, that makes it easier to achieve consensus. Consensus. And we're lucky that Export-Import reauthorization, until the last few years, has traditionally been one of those consensus processes where for reasonable periods of time we've reauthorized the program. I would just simply conclude by saying to my colleagues once again, we need to do this. We have to do this. We have no other choice to do this. Let's achieve the reforms that are doable, but let's not create something so complicated, so cumbersome, so inconsistent that it's unusable. Because not only does that hurt our competitiveness from a business perspective around the world, it hurts every individual whose livelihood is affected, impacted by manufacturing and world trade. We cannot let that happen on our watch. So, Madam Chairman, Ranking Member, thank you for this hearing. Thank you for what I believe is about to happen. Let's just get with it. Yield back.
Wow, passion, enthusiasm. The